This is the work. This is the work. This is why if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Hello and welcome to the Pacific Channel, where you learn about the law of attraction, how to manifest anything you want, meditation, and more. In this video, Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about how nowadays there is a community of young people who are growing up where the virtue of love is encouraged and where they know their thoughts and feelings have an effect on the world. The interesting thing is that for these young people, to them, miracles are normal. It's normal for them to witness blind people being able to see, people in wheelchairs being able to walk, and other miracles. Dr. Joe also talks about how the body wants to be the mind and how it will resist any effort you put forth to tame that stallion, as he sometimes says. Near the end of this video, he describes what you can do to change yourself into what you want to be. Without any further delay, let's listen to Dr. Joe.
Is a unique community of kids because, number one, they are growing up in a culture, in a community where a lot of the virtues of love are encouraged. They're given information and they know how to learn that information. They know how to do something with it. They're proving to themselves that their thoughts and their feelings do have an effect on the world. They're practicing it at an early age. You get it down now, the rest of your life is easy. By the same means, they witness miracles on the stage. To them, it's normal to see blind people see, to see people with neurodegenerative diseases that it says there's no cure for, to walk out of an event standing up when they came in a wheelchair. They're around these kind of unconventional things that they've witnessed. And now that they see it, they know it's possible. And if you know it's possible, then you're conscious of another possibility. And that changes the belief that you have. If you've seen it and you've seen the evidence and they grew up with the science and understanding it, they are different, unfortunately, than the rest of the world. Just like adults in this work find out they're different than the rest of the world after a period of time. And you take 1,000 people or 2,000 people or 3,000 people or 7,000 people, and they all have this, you get them doing the same things, thinking the same way, making the same choices, having the same experiences and feeling the same emotions, then they relate to one another, because that's what we do. We relate based on experience, and because we've experienced it, we know what it feels like, and we can commune, we can connect. Well, our youth community is witnessing some really profound things, both in the testimonies they've seen, as well as the research that's being presented to them. They understand that this is actually possible, and they're proving to themselves in their own journey that it is. And I have taken a lot of time with the youth to teach them about the neuroscience of culture and how to change cultures. Why? Because it's you that is going to be changing the culture, and you have to step into some big footprints here and somehow help change the world in some way. And I can tell you that I meet a lot of people, and everybody is wanting the same thing. Everybody is wanting something better and having meaning to life. One of the things that the Coherence Group is doing is we're working on certifying and authorizing a youth community of healers. Now, you share the same experiences in healing other people by giving. It goes so counter to taking and fighting and competing. And it's that act of giving life to another's life that somehow people love that feeling. And I want the youth community to get really good at doing this, really good at it. I'm really pressing them pretty hard that they have to execute and perform, and they have to produce outcomes. That's how they can prove to themselves that they're connected, that divine intelligence lives within them, that they could say, okay, I saw enough healings, I've seen enough other people be healed, now I should be able to do it because other people can do it. And I meet with them and we talk about social issues, we talk about abundance, we talk about health and wellness, we talk about the environment, we talk about education. These are important issues that really need some attention, and we're looking at how we can make a difference. And so it's not uncommon when you do this work that you outgrow things. You just outgrow them because it's boring, or there's nothing new, or you're no longer interested in needing anything outside of you to make you feel good. You actually feel good without anything. You're not going to find a lot of people in the world yet accepting that notion, although it's changing right before our very eyes. And so I would encourage you to join the youth community. I would encourage you to continue to learn, to continue to study. I was a weird kid in my 20s, a very different kid. I was into quantum physics. I was into yoga. I was into the yogic masters. I was into breathing. I was into all these things. And when I should be out partying with all my friends, I just didn't really find any value in that. That wasn't what I wanted to do. I wanted something else. And so I found myself at many times being happy with just being by myself and learning and finding my way. And I guarantee you, if you keep doing this work, you'll start creating people that you attract, and they attract to you. And it's a different frequency. And so my suggestion is that you continue being yourself. You continue listening to that compass in you that is telling you that this isn't for you, and be uncompromising to that, and reach out to the youth community, join the youth community. If you can, come to a week long and be part of the youth community. They meet every night. We have an events follow-up going on here in Florida right now, and there's a lot of youth that are here, and they could be anywhere, and they meet every evening. And if I can, I drop in with them and talk to them, and they do the work with all the adults. We have young people, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old as well, going through every meditation, going through every session, and really, really making some really profound changes. So if you can, be somewhat active and make a different choice and jump into the youth community. Introduce yourself. If you can, come to an event. Be a voice out there and find people that you can relate to. And there are people from Colombia, young people from Colombia that I know that are in this work. And so make an effort to ask the question, there's got to be something else. There's got to be something else besides this, and start looking for it right in our community. The disturbance of energy, when you actively engage in doing the breath with the intention of taking all those emotions that are literally stored as energy in those first 3 centers, primarily the first center 2, because that's where all that potential energy exists, that Kundalini energy, you are shaking loose a lot of the conditioning that goes on in the body. Now, the body has been conditioned really to be the mind, and so I mean that in all sincerity, that the body's been programmed to certain behaviors, certain habits, certain emotional reactions, certain beliefs. It's conditioned and programmed. And so when you do the breath and you start shaking loose some of that energy and you start liberating that energy, the body really does every single thing it can to return back to the same emotional state. So, you do the work and all of a sudden your body goes, oh, well, that was weird. Let's get back to the same emotional state. Let's get back to the same program, because it's the mind and it wants the known. It craves the familiar. That's what it's doing. It's looking for safety, right? So the conscious mind is working against 95% of a program. And God knows when we do this, the battle begins. And it looks like a David versus Goliath, because it's an assault of memories, an assault of emotions. The body's doing everything it can to unseat us so we can return back, and it's influencing the mind. Many people say, oh, I'm doing the breath wrong, I'm doing my meditation wrong, I'm doing this work wrong, it's not working for me. I want you to know that you're doing it right. I want you to know that your disturbance of that energy is really starting to denature those programs, and the body's working harder to get back to the known state, and you're stretching it into the unknown. In a sense, you're making a different choice and doing a different thing. You're working on having a new experience, and you're working on changing your emotional state, and the body is resisting. I see it every single time I watch students in this work do the come to a week-long event. There's a resistance in the body, and sometimes it's while you're doing it, saying you're not doing it right. What am I doing wrong? This doesn't work. I'm going to have a stroke. All of that stuff people have that comes up. I'll do it my own way. All of that. That's because the body's resisting. It's not the mind. The mind made the conscious choice to do it. It's just now the body, you have to work with it. So you're retraining the body. You're reconditioning the body to a new mind. If you stick with it, that energy really starts to move very well out of those centers and right to your heart and ultimately into your brain. You come to the week-long event, as in Dallas. We're going to break it down, and you're going to practice over and over again until it gets easy for you, until you have the experience of that energy making its way to your brain. So as you begin to disturb that energy, you begin to change your energy. And when you change your energy, everything that is familiar in your life, everything that's known in your life starts to move into chaos too, because chaos is unpredictable order. It's novelty. It's new information. And again, things tend to spiral a little bit out of order. It happens to everybody that does this work. You got to understand that, and you got to keep working on not responding to those programs. So it's not the breath that's doing it. It's just that your body doesn't want to take a chance in the unknown, take a chance in possibility. It's not conditioned to do that. So clinging to the familiar and influencing the way we think and the way we act and the way we feel is its job to bring us back to the same personality. So the work is about going through that process. You're not doing anything wrong in doing the breath. It's just that you're changing your energy, and the body is doing everything it can to return. So it would make sense then, and I've done this numerous times, I get right back to the basics, write down the thoughts that keep coming up. Why? Because that thought is going to influence a certain choice to a certain behavior and recreate the same experience to feel the same emotion. And it's automatic, right? So it takes a lot of energy and awareness to stop that. But if I write them down, the thoughts and memories that I don't want to revisit, if I just keep them in my conscious mind, I can catch them before they happen. That's a victory. All right, so I'm moving energy every day in my body. My body's wanting to return back to the familiar. How am I not going to speak? Let me just stay conscious of what I did yesterday. How did I act and behave? How did I go unconscious and back into those old habits? Let me just write them down and review them. And before I open my eyes, I'm just going to remind myself who I no longer want to be. I just want to review those. Now it's no longer about doing the breath. It's about change. It's about true change. Okay, what emotions do I live by every day? Do I live in frustration? Do I live in fear? Do I live in anxiety? Do I worry? Do I overfocus? What is it? What is it? Am I frustrated? What is it that I live by emotion? Let me just pick those emotions that I was in yesterday, and let me just write them down so I can just stay conscious of them. Then I'm going to look at them again before I eat lunch. I'm going to look at them again, review them again. How am I doing? Look at them again in the evening before dinner, and let me look at the end of the day. I don't know. I'm making stuff up, but you got to remind yourself of who you no longer want to be, and you got to become so conscious of those unconscious programs that you don't go unconscious again. You got to keep remembering and stop forgetting. And if you forget, you went unconscious. So how many times do we have to forget until we stop forgetting and start remembering? That's the moment of change. So all of this is instrumental in the process of you crossing the river, because there is a death that's taking place in our biology when we step out into the unknown, and that discomfort, that uncertainty, that unpredictability, that unknown is really causing the body really to do everything it can to be back to its same place, its same personality. This is the work. This is the work. This is why if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. You're moving energy, and that's the side effect of it. If you understand that now, it's not that you're doing the breath right or wrong. It's just now that you got to begin to stop the default. And people that have healed in this work, Milas, I've listened to so many of their stories. They had to get really good at staying out of that personality with their eyes open their whole entire day, not responding to people and circumstances and the same emotions, not thinking the same thoughts and thinking new thoughts and feeling new emotions and practicing behaving a different way. And that's what the walking meditations are about, practicing with your eyes open and trying it out, demonstrating it. We're in the plane of doing, right?
So the body has been programmed to have certain habits and beliefs, and it's our job to liberate that energy. But the body will do all it can to return to the old program. It will tell you things like, you're not doing it right, this doesn't work, it's never going to work, and things like that, because the body doesn't want to change the old programming. It's resistant. The body clings to what is familiar. So the work is about going through this process of reconditioning the body to a new mind. The work is for you to take control over your body and not allow it to control you. In the end, Dr. Joe gives us instructions to write down how you feel during this process of changing who you are. His advice is to ask yourself if you are frustrated or worried or stressed, and then remind yourself of who you don't want to be and who you do want to be. The goal is to get good at staying out of your old personality where you are thinking old thoughts, and instead think, feel, and behave in the new way that you want to be. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to watch more videos like this. And if you feel so inclined, please leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, and have a good day or night.